I think it's a dangerous time for black people to get
Absolutely.
involved in stuff because I'm a person who feel like we need to use different methods from voting. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should just be able to say I voted. Okay, I made a change. It's like nah, change is made to me grassrooted.
Sure.
Most of the changes in the history of the black people or Negro or people from a lost nation or whatever we want to call ourselves happen outside of the ballot box, right?
Yeah.
And right now, you got Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Right. That's not even started by black people. I think the guy is George Soros. I might be wrong about his name. You know
That's
what I
his
mean?
name. It wasn't necessarily started by him. Forgive me, I don't know that.
He funded it.
He's now a boogeyman to the people on the right. Now they're using George Soros as kind of a scapegoat of the Black Lives Matter as a.
I mean, it does pose a question, though, Kenny. Where is all of the funding that's been allocated to Black Lives Matter? Where does that go? Like, I'm with the people. Black lives do matter. Everybody's life matter. But right now, we on fire. So, yeah, hell yeah, Black lives does matter. But what I'm saying is, where is all of that funding going? I see the NBA got Black Lives Matter everywhere. I see them got the names on the jerseys. I see them televised, and I see all that stuff going on. But I'm here. I'm not a millionaire.
Right.
I'm amongst the people. I'm a commoner, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So I asked them, I don't see any funding of that. Not saying I need your money, but there are people in the community that do. There's people in the community that need change. And you're just saying that racism exists in America. There is not a person in America that does not know racism exists in America.
Sure.
So it's like, what is this Black Lives Matter? Like, it's almost like if you ask me, right, when people say, man, what are you? Are you a conservative? Are you a liberal? Are you Democrat? Are you Republican?
But most people don't even know what those terms mean.
Right. I'm a liberal, whatever makes sensitive.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You can't put me in a box. Certain things I agree with the conservative side. Some things I agree with the liberal side. Some things I don't agree with neither one of them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You know, I think the liberal party is doing more damage to the black community than anybody, simply because we know the conservative side, for the most part, don't fuck with us. So we know we already see our guard is already up with them. But the liberal side, a lot of stuff that's sliding under the radar, it's not helpful for us. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like that side of the party is like, do whatever makes you happy. And it's like, okay, we're doing just saying that or just pushing that, you see our community falling. We're not built on family structure anymore. I mean, hell, we reward women for kicking a man out of the household. You know what I'm saying? Through the welfare situation. Other than, going to college, you are rewarding women for not having a man in the household. You would let her stay somewhere for a cheaper rent. You would give her money. You would inflate her food stamp. I'm not saying that they don't need it. I'm all for helping, but at the same time, we need family.
Well, keeping this to black people, the woman needs that support because we're putting our black men in prison at extreme high rates. I mean, I was just reading the other day that there's a man in prison for stealing, I think, barber clippers back in the 70s, and he got life in prison in Louisiana.
Wow.
And he's still there. He was up on appeal this week, and he got denied
That's crazy.
parole. And it's just like, how? Like, what sense does that make?
It doesn't make sense. It just shows you what America really thinks about us.
I don't think that black woman would need food stamps, and if you
let him out of prison.
If you let him out of prison.
But it's such a complex look at it. Like you said, yeah, it's crazy to me. All of these states right now that legalize marijuana, right? It's crazy that they still have people in the penitentiary for selling marijuana, and now you made it legalized. Yeah. That's crazy.
I'm from the state of Colorado, and I can tell you right now, it is more expensive to live in the state of Colorado because
the marijuana,
of the exploitation. And I say exploitation because that's exactly what it is with marijuana.
Right.
I think if you're a state that has legalized marijuana, everybody in prison for a marijuana charge should be released. Period. It's not even a question. But I also we got the legal system, right? But I also talk about rap music too. The things that, I'm gonna lie, I enjoy certain things, I like a little bit of ignorance. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I do like a little bit of ignorance. Like I like 15% of it though. Okay.
Like I wanted to see the Soulja Boy and Chris Brown fight. That's how much ignorance I like. You know what I mean?
So just enough.
Just enough,
right.
But not enough to where it's all around me, right?
Okay.
So you look at the rap game, where it's going. You know, last week my homeboy on the show pointed out that you got cats bragging about selling pounds of weed in certain states that they legalize weed, but they're trying to push a thug image. And I think that's also part of the problem is that we got rappers out here that push negative stereotypes on the black community, and we don't look at them as the coons. We look at, oh, they down with the streets and all that, and they put out negative images knowing these kids gonna follow this shit, try to live this shit, and then when they get locked up, we just gonna say, well, it's the white man's fault. And I agree, yeah, white supremacy does play their part in overcharging our people, you know what I'm saying? But we also gotta look at who's working with white supremacy that's in black skin. We're afraid of that subject. Right now, like, I'm not a fan of Cardi B. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I think she garbage, she trash, you know what I'm saying? I liked her a little bit when she had the crooked teeth back then, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, bro, like, at some point, when are y'all black women say y'all want to be protected? Y'all say y'all want black men to love y'all and treat y'all like queens and stuff like that. Then why are y'all supporting the black women that make y'all look like sluts and prostitutes? Explain that to me.
Can you put limits on entertainment, though?
I mean, if you mentally strong enough, yeah, you can know, okay, that's entertainment. However, we just saw a clip of this young lady who was, I'm on Cardi B's show. I feel like to liberate a man, you know, to be liberating, you should fuck a man for money. How is that liberation?
I am 100%. I'm a huge fan of ratchet reality TV. But let's just be honest. Reality TV is not reality.
It's scripted.
And a lot of these people who are, whether it's in the music industry today, whether they become actors, actresses, whether they're on radio, a lot of them have gotten their start from a reality TV platform, you know. So I feel they're trying to keep a certain image to keep their fan base, and as they keep that image, their fan base grows.
I think
so I don't really believe that that's them. I don't know.
I get it with you saying it's entertainment, but I think that the devil's behind it is promoting that because it know it's going to make our young boys, our young girls try to be that, therefore they can lock them up. I hope people know most prisons of today are privately owned.
Absolutely.
Now, so this is a big game. It is a public school to prison pipeline. If it's ever been at any time, this is where it's at the height, and it's only getting worse. Like literally, I got the chick that was on Cardi B's show. Now, if we think Cardi B's bad, let me play this for y'all, man.
I love crossing.
Let me play this for y'all.
Okay.
Being like sexual and shit, like I don't see nothing wrong with that, cause baby, I got 3 kids. And I mean, I got these kids from sucking and fucking. At the end of the day, me being a hoe, like these people say, like honestly, I liberate a lot of hoes. You feel me? When I hear Cardi talk about popping some pussy, me and my bitches is with it. Like that liberate us, because it's like fuck you, self-respect as hoes. Cause how y'all got self-respect? Like I don't think y'all got self-respect like that. Cause first of all, you supposed to tax these niggas. That's self-respect. You feel me? Like, it make me feel liberated. Like, I love crossing boundaries. Because guess what? Scared money don't make no money. If you're going to be scared to get that money, you're going to be scared to be yourself and say, this who I am, then you ain't going to get that coin like that. Facts.
That's where we want to go with this shit?
She didn't even sound convincing all the way. You know,
I mean, she sounded convincing to me.
I don't know. I just felt there was a lot of hesitation, and the liberating part is hilarious to me. Because when I think of liberation, I think of freedom. And if you're saying in the same breath that you're liberated, but you're trying to pop whatever you say you got to try to get a dude, I don't think that sounds too liberating. That's just me.
And this is why I'm not like. I know my first episodes of the Intellectual Class Clown, y'all, I was going in on Jada. This is my issue with Jada Pinkett and people who think like her. It has nothing to do with the August Alsina shit. Just going back to when she had Snoop Dogg on the show. Okay. And you got on Snoop Dogg and you said how black men don't respect black women. But you never talked about why black men don't respect other black men. Because we disrespect each other more than anybody. We get to that later. And how the black woman don't respect black men. You can't protect something that don't respect you. You know what I'm saying? When you got your parents in your life, at some point you have to respect their rules of their house. That's part of their protection.
Sure.
They're telling you not to do certain things in their household because they care about you. You get what I'm saying? So when you got a lady on the show like that young lady who came out there, that hoe, I ain't gonna say young lady, let's cut it out. You know, but when you have somebody on the, speaking that way,
Yeah.
you think I'm gonna risk my life to protect that? And Jada, you didn't call that part out. You made it seem like it's just us. And brothers, we do need to step it up and do better. But that's a given. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a barbershop, you know what I mean? So when I hear these cats talk, you know what I'm saying? You don't hear no black man defending no black man who ain't on his shit. We don't have no respect for a dude who lay up on somebody. That's a given. You don't even have to explain that part of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But we're afraid to call out the sisters. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all niggas don't want to accept this, but I'm here to tell you. The reason why your daddy left y'all, because your mama wasn't shit. And we scared to say that. Now, ain't for all of us. Some of our daddies wasn't shit, and some parents, it just didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of folks in a situation in the black community we're afraid to talk about, your daddy left because your mama wasn't shit. Trust what I'm telling you.
Well, in the black community, I feel like black women are the most protected. So you're not going to hear a lot of bad talk about black women because they're the ones in the picture. They're the ones relevant in the moment.
Right. You know? And the child typically,
not saying that they're the only one relevant, just right. in the moment.
And the child typically they favor the parent who's present,
right,
and get the behavior of it, right. Mm-hmm. And just going with the prison population, I believe, didn't you used to work for a prison, like deal with guys psychologically or something like that?
Yeah.
Right. The majority of the black men that go to prison come from single parent moms.
Backgrounds.
Single parent moms, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not about to gangbang on you ladies. I'm just telling y'all the facts, right? Mm-hmm. And this shows you how psychologically how they mess you up, right? On one hand, you talk about LeBron James, single parent mom. Mm-hmm. You talk about Kevin Durant, single parent mom. Mm-hmm. We put them on a high horse, right? Mm-hmm. Because their sons became successful. Mm-hmm. Well, fuck, LeBron James is 6'8", 260 pounds, and was able to jump out the gym. Same with Kevin Durant. He's 7'1". You know, he can shoot. See, Kevin Durant can score from any point on the floor. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Without their basketball ability, right?
Right.
They'd be regular guys. If the NBA didn't exist, I don't know. Maybe LeBron might be different. I see a different in his character. I see leadership in his character. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not knocking them brothers by no means. Sure. I'm glad that basketball is there because I like to see black people getting that money. Right. You know what I mean? But they get the praise of saying that how great of a parent they was. Mm-hmm. They get all of the praise because their children became successful. Right. Then you go take on the flip side of that, you have a young black man who goes to prison, murdered in the street young or something like that from his behavior, not just a random killing, but just from his behavior, right? And you talk about them being single parent mom, and it's like, well, the daddy wasn't in his life now.
Right. And
I'm like, wait a minute now. Mm-hmm. If the child is great or the child is terrible, credit has to go to the parent that's around.
Right.
They didn't get none of that bad behavior from the motherfucker that wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling men you get a pass for not being in your child's life. You're a piece of shit for that. Mm-hmm. If you're not trying to be in your child's life, you are a piece of shit. I'll say it again. Right. You know what I mean? However, a child gets his behavior from the parent that's around, good or bad, whether you like it. Mm-hmm. So if your child becomes great, give them the credit. I'm cool with all that. Mm-hmm. Your child becomes shitty, they got it from it. And one of the things I think in the black community, the black men, I'm not gonna gang bang on us, but I'm gonna keep it real. Mm-hmm. A lot of us don't want to say it, but we got ways of a woman. We afraid to say that shit though. Think about it. Look how crazy these dudes is rushing to go get the brand new Jordans that come out. Look how dudes feel about I gotta be swagged out. Even the way we act around each other be on some woman shit. Mm-hmm. And the brothers who don't think like that, they see it. Right. They see it. I'm just being real with you. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about on the homosexual side of the game. I'm just talking about just off of behaviors that you normally see with a man. Men are normally calm, calculated. Us, we're very emotional. You know, brothers and got in shootouts because somebody stepped on their shoe. And the biggest reason we always get into it with each other because I felt played. You felt some kind of way? That's emotional, dog.
I'll challenge that a little bit by saying, that. As a single parent, I think what single parents argue is, I work sometimes 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. That's just to survive month to month.
Right. I feel that, though.
Right.
I'm not around.
Correct. And that's a positive. It's negative in the fact that you have to work 2 or 3 jobs.
Right.
But it's positive knowing that you're attempting to support your family or successfully supporting your family.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing what you got to do.
Correct. You can only have so many life lessons in that because you're not really home.
A lot of your behavior, though,
right, and
still drop to the kid.
Correct. And so I think where the single parent mindset is, if that kid happens to get in trouble, you're like, no, this is based off of me being the single parent having to pick up the slack of the parent that's not there. This negative behavior is the fact that I'm not able to parent at my full capacity the way I want to. So oftentimes what I see in single parents is they deflect and they put that on the parent who's not visible.
Right.
Because it's easy to do that.
And you know, I agree with that because when people ask me, Tone, do you think a woman can raise a boy into being a man? I say, well, I'm not sure if she could or if she can't, you know. But what I am sure is that she shouldn't be in a position to where she have to.
Right.
But that goes back to teaching our daughters what type of guys to date. That goes back to teaching our sons what kind of ladies to date, or teaching our children. You know, when you pick a mate out here, it's more things you should be, you know, looking for. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having your fun. You know, if you want to have your fun, that's fine. I'm not judging that. But we talking about, when you're talking about building a family, things of that nature, you need to be a little bit more mindful of the type of person you're dealing with.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and then one of the things that also plague us, we're overly sexualized through the media, through television, through music, everything like that. So we're having children at younger ages to where we're not wise enough to even make a distinction between good and bad, or I wouldn't even say good and bad, or is this person going to be responsible or not? Because if you with somebody that ain't responsible, you might want to figure your way out of that.